one of the main pushers of the jab and leading expert, has been offered $800,000 to join the Joe Rogan show and have a debate with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who's been labeled one of the most prominent anti-jabbers. Here's the tweet from the leading jab expert that got conversation of the debate started. Dr. Peter Hotez says Spotify has stopped even sort of trying to stem Joe Rogan's jab misinformation. It's really true. And from all the online attacks I'm receiving after this absurd podcast, it's clear many actually believe this nonsense. He was responding to the article from Vice, calling out the podcast between Joe Rogan and RFK Jr. Joe Rogan responds, Peter, if you claim what RFK Jr. is saying is misinformation, I am offering $100,000 to the charity of your choice if you're willing to debate him on my show with no time limit. Dr. Hotez responded with a now deleted tweet saying, be serious, Joe. That's what you throw out for your hunting buddies on a weekend. A $50 million endowment, which you, Spotify, and RFK Jr. can easily afford, not for me, but so we can continue making low-cost patent-free jabs for the world's poor, preceded by RFK Jr.'s public apology. And they go back and forth with Joe Rogan continuously asking the leading jab expert to come on and defend the jab. Other prominent podcasters start throwing money in the pot. Mr. Tim Pool adding $100,000 until the total reached around $800,000. I think we need to look into why one of the leading jab experts won't go on one of the biggest podcasts to defend the jab. Let's take a look at some of the flip-flopping he's done.
One of the things that we're not hearing a lot about is the unique potential safety problem of coronavirus vaccine.
And then we need to jab the kids. It's imperative to do this to protect them from hospitalization. I've said this repeatedly, with raging transmission, the only way we'll get through in-person classes is if everyone walking into the school is masked and everyone 12 and up is jabbed. First, halting Delta transmission through jabs is a high bar, but it's doable. It means pretty much all of the adults and adolescents. Check this out.
Vaccine mandates, every kid over the age of 12, not only we're going to fully vaccinate the American people, but vaccinate the planet, vaccinate the entire world. You have to aggressively vaccinate the Southern Hemisphere, vaccinate the African continent, South Asia, and Latin America. Let's go vaccinate the African people. The security of the country depends on getting everybody vaccinated.
Now let's look into some of the funding Mr. Hotez has acquired from people like Gates, Clinton, Anthony, and these guys. 1989 through 1992, Dr. Hotez was given $100,000 by, you guessed it, Iser. In 2003, he was also one of Iser's visiting professors. In 1996 to 2001, he was given $2,942,754 by Anthony and the NIH. He's also been given $44 million from the Gates Foundation. He's also gotten funds from the Clinton Global Initiative. These guys did a good breakdown on Mr. Hotez I think everybody should watch. But for now, let's hear some more flip-flopping.
Once you get over 65% of the population with a single dose vaccine and 50% 2 doses, the amount of transmission will really start to decline. 60 to 70%, 60 to 80% threshold. We need to get to about 75% before we interrupt transmission. Around 3/4 of the U.S. population, roughly 80% of the U.S. population.
Let's hear some more.
News is good. It's saying even after 6 months, it still looks like it's really strong and durable. So this is going to be a long-lasting vaccine. A single dose is not very effective, but 2 doses fully vaccinated people are. A week or 2 after the second dose, the masks can start to come off.
One's going to be long-lasting. Oh, no. Two, that'll do it. And after 2, you can take the mask off, and then
I think ultimately a third immunization with the mRNA vaccines will probably be needed at some point. We thought there was a pretty high likelihood we might have to give a third immunization down the line anyway at some point, because we had no idea about the durability of any protection of any of these vaccines. So if you got a 2-dose Pfizer Moderna vaccine, think of it as a 3-dose vaccine. We ultimately will need to give a third immunization, and I've been pretty much saying that all along.
I think by now we're all realizing why he doesn't want to debate RFK Jr. Despite the enormous pot on the table, I think his arguments aren't going to stand up to scrutiny. His flip-flopping on the matter speaks for itself. I still would love to see this debate.
You know, these guys like Fauci get up there and start talking, you know, he doesn't know anything really about anything, and I'd say that to his face. They've got a personal kind of agenda, make up their own rules as they go, they change them when they want to. Like Tony Fauci does not mind going on television in front of the people that pay his salary and lie directly into the camera.